Hello and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen and I am here with a January hop for Baby Got Scraps, where we are trying to use up all our scraps that are sitting around on our desk and our stash. And so I am using Paige Evans Blooming Wild, and I do have quite a few bits and pieces of scrap here. No, I'm not going to use all of it, but I'd love to get some of that definitely used up. I am documenting a day back in May. I'm trying to get caught up with the 2024 album so that I can start on 2025. Not that I haven't already scrapbooked current, but anyway. I've got lots of papers. I've got a project pad, lots of embellishments. So I have my papers and scraps. I have my embellishments. I have my pictures. So let's see how this goes. So these are the papers I've decided to go with. This one's got a bunch of wordy bits on it. This is always better together. You make me happy. Sunshine and smiles. Best friends. Feeling grateful. Celebrating moments. And that is absolutely fitting for this evening. I think this is my old age getting to me. I think that we had planned dinner, but I had not planned on my children, all of my children, trying to sweet talk me into house sitting and taking in a dog. My daughter's best friend, who is like a son to me, has a dog and was moving out of his home and wanted to take the dog with him, but couldn't take him where he was going. But due to a bunch of different things, he really wanted his dog, her name was Jasmine, to hang out with us, me and Jameson, and we had just lost our dog in December. So since I knew it was just for a short while, he was going to take care of like dog food and all that stuff, I finally gave in, said yes. Now things didn't work out. We only had her for really a handful of hours before he came back and had to get her. Long story. Anyway, but it was a good evening. We had a good time, and they were cracking me up, trying to talk me into keep having the dog and keeping her, and it was pretty entertaining. So I have these pictures, the group picture with her in it, and then the picture of her saying goodbye to Ben, which is her dad, and then the other picture is of my son that I sent it to him. Sent it to Ben that evening, letting him know that she was settled in bed. So anyway, to the layout. I am using all the strips and scraps and pieces that I had in here that were anywhere near long enough to cover this. Now, I trimmed that middle piece down. It's like a purple color. I trimmed that down to a 10 3/4 by 10 3/4 because I wanted you to be able to read and see the words on that outside paper because it was so fitting. But when I put the matted layout down, it doesn't stand out as much, and I really wanted something kind of dark there. So had I thought of it before, I may have matted it on black and then put it down. But I don't mind the look of just drawing this black thick line around it because it kind of gives that illusion of having a black thin mat behind there. So also, I was not planning on taking the strips all the way up the page, but when I got done putting everything on there, it pretty much covered everything. And so I decided, since I was doing that, and it seemed silly since I was taking a colored paper out of the project pad, I would tear some bits and pieces so you can see little snippets of the paper in behind. So it's like not absolutely pointless for me to have pulled a paper from the project pad when I could have just used a white or, even an ugly color that I don't like, solid cardstock. So I ended up tearing bits and pieces out. Some of them get buried with the pictures, but most of them you can still see, or at least, I don't know, 3 or 4 of them are still, there. So you could still see that paper peeking out from behind. So I am okay with that. I am just kind of tossing on embellishments kind of in their color family. So I'm putting things down in the pinks that are like pink flowers, the pink bird, little pink wordy bits. I've got some orange flowers, yellow butterfly. I just noticed that butterfly is coming up off the page. Had to get some glue on there. And then there's this gap between True Story that I felt needed something. So I put this little flower cluster here, and it's only part of a flower cluster, but it wouldn't go all the way down. So I'm just covering where there's a little bit of a gap there where you could see that I actually cut that sticker. And then I am going to journal on here and just write that my kids tried to talk me into house sitting a dog for a while. And unfortunately, it didn't work. Although they did talk me into it. I was worried that my son would think that that meant we could go get a dog after that. So I do get my journaling on there. I make sure to get the date on there. I use quite a few embellishments that I wasn't sure how I would use, like, vases with flowers in it and stuff. It's not, I don't normally decorate with a lot of florals, but Blooming Wild is like an extremely floral collection, obviously. So, but I do love the way this turned out. And it was a lot of fun to create and try and get as many scraps on here as I could. I would love it if you'd go check out the playlist for Baby Got Scraps. You can find other ways that people are using scraps and being creative and using their scraps and getting them out of their stash. I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up if you like my video and or my layout. I'd love it if you'd subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and I hope you'll come back again really soon. Have a great day, and hope you get a chance today to do something you love with someone you love. Happy scrapping!